morning. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Euston Wall. Today I'm going to take it easy, to be honest. I've been following a new calisthenics program, so it's been very fatiguing, very draining, a very physical set of workouts I've been doing the last few days. So yeah, I'm fully tired from that and all the climbing that I've been doing as well, all the projecting. Gonna have more of a chilled session today and then come back for my project probably tomorrow or day after, we'll see. But yeah, plan today is very technical. Gonna be focusing on things like toe hooks, heel hooks, drop knees, but yeah, particularly heel hooks and toe hooks. I don't think I incorporate them into my climbing enough, and I don't incorporate them very well either. I was climbing with a mate the other day, and there was certain route climbs that we did together where he would heel hook and toe hook and I wouldn't even see the moves. So that's something that I want to work on. So I'm just going to jump on some of the easier climbs, and yeah, just really focus on, I might do the same route in several different ways, and before moving on to the next one, but yeah, focusing on heel hooking, toe hooking and drop knees. So yeah, that's the plan, and I hope you enjoy the video. That was probably quite a terrible start, to be honest. I think I was just trying too hard to add moves where they need to be added, so yeah, that's probably going to happen a fair amount in this, particularly on some of the easier climbs where it's more of just a ladder like this V intro. It's probably too easy to try those moves, but yeah, I think some of the more difficult climbs like the V1s, V2s should be a bit easier to add those into the sequence, so move on to something else. Okay, so I'm actually quite happy with how I climbed that. It was very static, very controlled, and I did it pretty well. And I also think I rocked my hips over on this hold pretty nicely. I don't think I do that enough. When I get my hips far enough over the hold, I tend to fight with the hands more, rather than pulling my toe or my heel. What I want to try this time is actually placing a heel on this instead, rather than the toe, because I think that's going to help me get further across. If I put my heel on there and pull more, then I'll get my hips more over this way. It should make the next move even easier. So I just want to try that and just work on that real technical point there. So I'm going to do the same thing again, same toe hook at the start, very controlled release, and then get the heel on rather than the toe instead. See if I can pull my hips even further over. felt a lot less comfortable. I do think it probably is meant to be a toe, but I do think there's other situations where a heel would be better. But I never practice that. I don't really like using my heel. I almost think my shoes are a bit wide around my heel, so I never really heel hook. So I want to force myself to do more of those moves. Okay, I'm going to move on to this red V1 now. It starts with 2 hands on the volume on here, and then works its way up to the right, up to there. I think there's a couple of opportunities to use a toe or a heel, so I'm just going to try and use that as much as possible and see how effective it is. That was quite interesting. I actually used the heel, and that meant I'd negated the second last hold. Didn't need to go out to the right further at all because my heel kept me locked into the wall here. So rather than walking my feet through underneath, I could just heel hook on that and then reach up with the right. So yeah, that was a good use of it. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, I'm just going to do the yellow one now. Did this in yesterday's video, I think. But yeah, it's got a nice toe hook at the start. And it's quite a technical one. You need to keep your hips in quite tight to the wall. There's a few drop knees involved as well, so it's a good one to practice some technique on. Okay, I'm going to jump into this V4 Wasp now, and I'm thinking there could be quite a few opportunities to hook your heel, which is why I've chosen this one. So a lot of these holds are side pulling, so they could give me quite a lot of balance if I hook a heel in here on the way up, is what I'm thinking from the ground. Obviously, we'll see what the position feels like once I'm on the wall, but I think there's some opportunities at least to try that, and possibly a toe hook in there maybe. But yeah, just going to jump on, see if we can implement that at all anywhere on the route. I'm not sure the toe hook match at the end was the easiest thing to do, but there was an option to do it, so that's why I went for it. It was probably easy to just keep 2 feet on the volume and just hang underneath and get my body a bit lower, but yeah, fun way to try something different. Little toe on that one, that was quite good. And then I used the heel in here as well, like I mentioned, coming up, which I think definitely helped me stay into the wall. But yeah, it was an interesting route that. Once I got to those 2 hands, I wasn't really sure what I was meant to do, so the only logical thing I found was to go dynamically with the foot on the volume up with the right hand. Maybe a way of doing it statically, but the issue is that those handholds are so low, so I think it kind of has to be dynamic on that move. Okay, I'm going to jump into this V4 white now. So, done this one on the video before, I think. Starts with a couple of hands here. I want to try and do this as statically as possible and controlled as possible. Maybe look to chuck in a heel or a toe on this hold as I'm moving up, and then similar to this hold as well. But yeah, if I remember rightly, the bit I struggled and I cut feet before was once I got my hands up to here, going up higher. The feet aren't great, so I want to try and find a way to keep myself more locked onto the wall whilst doing this one. So yeah, going to give it a few different goes, I think, and see what we can do. You know what, I'm actually quite happy with that. I think that's the most that I've heel hooked this hold ever on this route. I don't think I've actually done that at all beforehand. Normally just muscle my way up it. But I did that very controlled, very statically, for my standards anyway, of what I'm used to doing myself. And yeah, locked that heel in quite nicely. It's very in cut, but I think my body positioning really helped me lock in on this. And I could use that as a resistance, moving up all 3 of those holds up to the crimp. So didn't really use the feet down here that much at all. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, there was one section where I did just cut feet. I want to kind of eliminate that completely before I finish this climb. So it was when I went to release the heel, I lost tension through the right foot as well, and then both feet came off very briefly before I got the left up a bit higher. So I might look at instead, while the heel's on, leaning the body weight round and get a little toe in here, and then coming up with the left foot. I think that's going to be the plan. Just a little toe underneath the heel, just to lock in whilst I release the heel to bring the toe up again. So yeah, see how that goes this time. Went nicely that one, as planned. It wasn't completely smooth, but it definitely stopped me cutting feet fully. Got the toe in for long enough to get my left toe on and the heel out, which made that much more clean. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, going to move on to this V6 Boulder now. Lots of holds on the wall. Some, I mean, they're pretty good footholds, to be honest. It's a V2 at the end of the day. But yeah, there's a few opportunities, I think, to get a heel in, certainly on this hold. When I come around the corner, and possibly use as a toe hook towards the end as well. But yeah, I'm just going to see if we can use any of those on this route as we go up. We'll see how we go. Wasn't sure whether it's this heel on this or this one. I ended up going for the higher hold. The lower felt a better position, but obviously the angle of the hold's a lot worse, so that's why I moved the foot up higher. And then yeah, obviously the heel in here as well towards the end. I had to keep me balanced as I came around the side, so quite a cool route that one. Okay, I'm going to move on to a V6 now, which I actually sent yesterday at the end of the session, but I didn't film it. It was being tweaked by the staff to make it more of a V6 that couldn't be cheated. So 1 foot down here, start with 2 hands on these holds, and then there's a few hand holds over here and a foot hold on the side, which looks quite big from this angle, but what you can actually get your toe on is very small. And yeah, hand here, hand here, hand here, a couple of crimps up to the top there. Now I did this cheating it, I haven't actually tried it doing it not cheating, but I think cheating it is kind of easier for my style because I'm very inflexible. The way you do it properly is with 1 foot on this foot chip and your other foot, your left foot on there, on this foothold. That's a very long way for me to go, so I've been cheating it by going straight up with the left hand and then getting a heel hook on this up to the top. So I'll try and do that again today, the cheating way, and then try it the way it's meant to be done as well. But this does have a heel hook, it's quite technical. Got to get a lot of weight through the heel and pull yourself up the wall with that. So hopefully we'll be able to replicate that first try today. And yeah, we'll see how we go. think you need to brush those holes. You can see how I cheated that though. It was very physical. But coming up with the left hand to this, getting the, I actually got the toe on that time. Maybe that's what I did the first time too. And then standing on that. And then from there, that crimp, the third last, is so bad. Really nothing to grip onto, it's upside down. There's a tiny little ledge to hold onto. And then you're pinching up underneath. I don't know, I felt like I was slipping off that too much. Couldn't get the left hand on today, so I might have to give that a brush. Let my fingers cool down because they're super sweaty. Get a bit more friction, and then I should be able to send that. But yeah, that's the cheating way. Meant to come across here, using these holds up to this, get a foot on, pull up to a Gaston, and then come into an undercling. Still very difficult, both ways are very difficult. But yeah, I'll see if I can do it the way I've tried it once again. And then try and do it the way it's set as well. See how that goes. Oh my god. I don't know why I can't do that today. I can't do that today for some reason. Wow, thank you mate. That hurt a lot. Those holds are tiny at the top and I was using a lot through the fingers there. Had to rest for a long time and cool the skin down as well because the third last crimp is just horrible and it's so sweaty in here today. But yeah, that was the way I cheated the boulder. I'll probably give it a go and try and do it the way it's meant to be done. But yeah, tricky sequence even doing it that way, so yeah, I'll try it as it's meant to be done, see if I can send it that way as well. Sorry Charlene for cheating your boulder, but yeah, bait a break on that one if anyone wants to use it. Okay, I'm going to try it now the way I think it's meant to be done, which is coming across with the hand and then bumping it again to this one and then coming into this and getting the left hand up. I'm not sure what stage the heel comes on here and the toe comes on this, but then you're meant to come into a Gaston on that hold. But yeah, I find the sequence more difficult. I don't know if it's my flexibility that's linked to that. But yeah, see if we can do it the intended way. Oh my god, my shoes just came off. Bloody hell. Yeah, that's the problem with it being hot and sweaty. And I think the heel doesn't really fit my heel. My shoes just come off whenever I try heel hook. Not ideal. Okay, gonna try that again. I think that is the way to do it. Heel up a bit earlier, once my hands are here, and then pull up to the left, rock over onto the heel into the Gaston, and then get the left foot onto this. But yeah, I'll try and do that again without my shoe coming off, because it makes it much more difficult when that happens. Oh my god, I can't keep my shoe on my foot, mate. I don't know what's going on. Fucking hell. Okay, so just from watching the footage, it's pretty obvious why my shoe's coming off. It's because my heel, when it's on here, my leg is so straight this way, I'm pulling in this direction. So that's why my shoe's just coming off. I mean, they are probably not that tight around the heel, which is not ideal, but I think that's linked to what it is. So what I want to do first is bump my left hand up here, which will mean that the angle I'm pulling my heel is more down rather than across when I come to the Gaston. So that's the plan, try and get the hand up a bit sooner. Probably bump straight from here to this hole, which is another good edge, and then go from there. So that's the plan, we'll see how that goes. yeah, that's much better. Coming up to that one first. It's quite awkward to get there, and then I readjusted my hand onto this hold to make room for my foot. But yeah, moving up higher meant the heel was a lot more secure, and coming out was easier. So glad I sent it the way it's meant to be done as well. Okay, that is the end of what was a tougher session than I thought it was going to be honest. I think I'm just really tired at the minute, so that was difficult. Good to do some more technical focused stuff though. Obviously some of the attempts that I did were just kind of forced moves, which wasn't really great, but it's always good to at least think about where you can use certain techniques like heel hooks and toe hooks, so that when they do appear and they can be used, you've at least considered them rather than not even realising that they're there. So I think that's what happened today, which is good. But yeah, nice one to end on, the V6. Shout out to Charlene for setting that one. To be honest, I think the beta break that I did was harder than the way it's actually set when you do it properly. So yeah, still a really good route. Really enjoyed it. Very crimpy, very tough on the fingers on a sweaty day, that's for sure. But yeah, enjoyed that one a lot. Good to send it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps the channel out a lot. But most importantly, as you know, make sure you grab life by the plums, and I'll see you in the next one.